Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vida Lowe, and I'm a licensed psychotherapist in California. And today, the topic I would love to share with you is 3 core strategies to build resistant children in a chaotic world. We're going to talk about containment, conversation, and control. So the first thing I want to say is children and adolescents do not have their prefrontal cortex developed. That doesn't happen until late teens, early 20s. So what does that mean? They can't conceptualize really what's going on in the world the way an adult brain can. One example is when a teenager does something really dangerous and quite stupid. We go, "What were you thinking?" Well, they're not. They're not in the same way we adults would be thinking of safety and precaution and how we thrive and live in the world. Kids and teenagers, because of that reason, process global events as something that's happening to them or their family. Remember, kids and teens, and we know this in teens, they think about themselves, right? They cannot think outside of themselves very well yet. And it's our job to help contain and nurture and make sure that they understand that they are safe with all things going on right now. So the first strategy we're going to talk about is containment. So containment means monitoring news, curating information in your home, and what I like to call the news diet. I do this with my adult patients as well. So the first one is limit passive consumption. So what does that mean? So sometimes we grow up in homes that have news on all the time, even if it's on Lowe and parents are cooking or it's a busy day, there's radio on the news. We know now that we pick up passive information. So kids, teenagers, it doesn't sound like they're listening, but it does enter the brain. And the thing that's hard about this is we are not there to help digest the news. So they're picking up things kind of in the background. They're hearing it. Again, we don't think they are. So we have to be very careful to turn off the news when we are done, or events on the news, or even being careful when we're talking to neighbors or family members on the phone. The curating information part starts by really examining what you do want to share with your children, age appropriate. So this is where parents can talk, or partners, and really discuss what they want to share. And again, really limiting to the age appropriateness of the child. News diet. I love this one for all of us. Adolescents, teens are always on their phones. We sometimes can't monitor that. But what we do know is that it's a constant stream of information. And a lot of it can be what's going on in the world. I invite parents to ask their teens to have a curated time of it. So even with my patients, I say, hey, it can feel like a lot's going on. So 10 minutes in the morning, right? Like watch the news, your favorite station, for 10 minutes. And then if you feel like you need to watch maybe another 5 more at night, that's fine. Limit the news. We ask the teens to do the same. This gets a little more containment around feelings. We can talk to them more about specific things, and things don't feel so out of control for teens. I would even try to limit how much they're on their phone. Of course, we all know that, but it is really important for brain development that they be careful not to be on their phone so much. Model calm. So this is on us parents or caregivers. When we're out of control, angry, obsessing over politics or events, they're watching us. We might not think that, but they are watching. They are watching our behavior. They're watching when we hear something upsetting, how we react. This is when we can model behavior to be calm, to be able to take step back from our own feelings, to nurture the kids in that moment. What we do in those events or times is what your kids will be doing when they get older, if they decide to have children, or even how they live their life when they feel like chaotic things are going on around them. So really important to stay calm, grounded. If something feels overwhelming, you get a phone call or you saw something on the news or a tragic thing happened somewhere, remember to take your own space before you are with your children. This includes venting away from your children. So we can all feel a lot from a phone call or news or whatever is going on. Just remember to go take that break, modeling. Number 2 is conversation. So important to have conversations with our children when we're calm. So at about 5 to 10, we would want to ask children what they've heard. So an example of that, like we don't want to feed information sometimes, and you can in an age-appropriate way. Yet how I like to work in my office is if something big is happening in our community or in the world, I'll say, what have you heard about it? So what am I doing there? I'm actually asking them if they know about the information and what have they heard. And then my follow-up would be, well, how does that feel for you? Or how are you feeling about the event? So I'm not feeding information like, have you heard this happen or the flooding or whatever is going on? I ask, and sometimes kids will go, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Great, okay. That's age appropriate. At that age, they don't need to know everything that's going on in the world or in the community. Preteens, 9 to 12, it's about context and control. This is where we want to acknowledge what's happened and give the kids some kind of control. Like, yes, bad things can happen. And what we can focus on is helping our community and our family. So that helps bring the issue into context and gives them some power of control. You can bring it back from a huge, large event to something that's more in the community and the family. Adolescents, 12 plus years here. A lot of them, again, are on the news or TikTok and they see a lot of things. So an age-appropriate idea here would include ethics and action. So a way to connect with your child is, yes, I can understand how angry or upset or how fearful you are. And there are so many people helping these people if it's an event. And what can we do here at home? So is it baking for first responders? Is it helping at a food pantry? Is it taking animals in for foster? So it's actually helping the kids figure out where they live in the world and how they can help out in their way. It gives them a sense of control again. Number 3 is building resistance. So this is a big one, right? We want resilient children. We want things to happen to them as adults that they can bounce back from easily. So how we do that is first acknowledge their feelings, right? No matter what age at this point. Acknowledging feelings of that child actually establishes that they're important, that their feelings matter, that they can do important things in the world. It's really, really important to acknowledge how they feel. And then have an action plan after that. An example of that would be like, yeah, scary things do happen, and look at all the wonderful people that are helping. And what can we do as a family to help them, even if it's a small way? That also brings some positivities. There's really great, brave people out there that are helping as well. And what can we do to be brave in our community to help? So when a child feels anxious, we can use that from passive fear and churn it into active empathy. I know I've said this a couple times, but it's really, really great for kids to explain or confide that they're feeling anxious about a situation. And it's our job as caregivers to contain it and then churn it into active empathy. So I know I've explained it a couple times, so I hope that's clear for everybody. Then there's inner resilient skills. So we want to start teaching this early on. Mindfulness and grounding, huge. I know I talk about it, I think probably in every video, but this is the research now, right? Mindfulness and grounding is where that anxiety state can come back, where that anxiety, the sympathetic nervous system, comes back into parasympathetic state, non-anxiety, calm, groundedness. So how do we do that with little children and hopefully continue throughout their life? Is something as simple as the 4-7-8 breathing method. So 4 seconds in, 7 seconds hold, at 8 seconds out. Even 3 to 5 times, we notice that nervous system start to shift. Really important to have a toolbox for even really little kids of breathing exercises. By the way, we as adults use that as well. Another one that's really great for kids, because sometimes sitting meditation obviously can be hard for children, but bringing in the mindfulness part. So going outside with your child when they're feeling anxious and looking at a tree. So what I do with patients, little ones, is I'll go on a bench outside and I'll say, wow, look at the leaves blowing on the tree. Wow, do you think it's the whole tree? Oh, I'm noticing it's on the left or the right. And look at the greens, right? The kids get really involved really quickly. That brings them to present moment, groundedness, nature. Anything outside is going to be really great for kids and adults, actually. Feeling the breeze on your face and then getting detailed about it. What side of the face was that on? I felt it more on my nose. So little strategies like that really go a long way with shifting that nervous system out of anxious state and connectedness, sitting next to a therapist or caregiver, parent, a friend down the street. Really important for the kids to feel that. Positive self-talk. So we as humans tend to go towards negative. So this is a really great skill to start when they're little or even teens, right? It's actually never too late. So whatever age you start doing this is going to be great. So I can't do anything in this crappy world, right? I hear that a lot. Oh, and I teach the clients to say, well, no, it feels like things can feel out of control. And what I can control are volunteering, giving somebody a ride somewhere that I know, helping mom and dad or caregiver cook, being kind to a stranger, right? We want them to feel some control and involved with that empathy piece. And then lastly is prioritizing joy. I just want kids to be kids sometimes, even teens, even us as adults, right? What makes us happy? Is it walking? Is it petting a dog? Is it having tea outside? Is it going to dinner with friends? Know what brings you joy as children, as adolescents, as adults, and really do those things. We can get so anxious, and anxiousness is a cousin of depression, and really get bogged down by anything that's going on in our lives, right? So it's really important to every day do something nice for yourself. Bubble bath, meditation, sitting outside in the sun, snuggling with kids or a pet. Whatever it is, prioritize that. Have children prioritize that. That's going to also help to that resilience as they age, because they're going to know what brings them joy. Of course, it shifts. But to prioritize that skill can last forever. So those were the 3 strategies to have resilient children become resilient adults, no matter what's going on in their life or the world. We have to prioritize loving our children, having empathy for what they're going through, really hearing these kids and what's going on, protecting them. I call it containment, or protecting our children, having a loving container, and staying calm as parents, modeling behavior. These are key to help all children navigate a world that is getting more complex. Please look down in the links below if you see any other videos that you like, and I hope you enjoyed this one, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Sending everybody ease and peacefulness. Thanks.